Some things in life are pretty straightforward, cut and dry, black and white, right? If I want to get from here to my house, you might tell me I should go west, not east, north, not south, that kind of thing. There are some things that are indisputably just one answer, no matter who you ask, at what time or place. 2 + 2 is 4, triangles have 3 sides, that kind of thing. And sometimes we want to treat the Bible like it only ever speaks about things with one voice, only offering one direction all the time, almost like a single melody, right? And to treat it like there's a right note, a single right note at any given time in the melody, it's right or wrong because it's in black and white, it's like math or directions on a map. Except that sometimes the Bible seems to point in multiple directions at the same time. You might ask a question and discover one verse seems to be saying something in this direction, another verse or passage seems to be pointing in a different direction, and you're left either asking, am I supposed to pick one is the right one and one is the wrong one? That doesn't seem quite right. Am I supposed to just pick the one that I like or the one that is easier to swallow? Or is it maybe possible that sometimes the Bible is less like a single solitary note on a page and more like, well, when we sing music in 4-part harmony, and instead of just a single note, maybe it's more like this. In which case, it's okay and not scary that at the same time there's both a G and an F and an A and a D. That might be exactly what's supposed to be played at any given moment. In other words, what if the Bible is less like a single right answer like 2 + 2 is 4? And maybe that it speaks more like 4-part harmony, where there are different notes that point in a general direction, or sometimes you can feel tension between the notes, but they're all part of one hymn or one song. I want to suggest that because we're going to be inviting you in the rest of this fall to join us in a special series in our Adult Sunday School that's going to take a look at how do I deal with those times when I'm reading along in the Bible and one verse seems to say this and another verse seems to say that, and I feel like I'm, well, on the one hand this and on the other hand this, without picking and choosing and throwing out something, or maybe getting at the deeper question, what is each writer or each voice actually trying to say? Instead of pitting them against each other, like this guy says 2 + 2 is 4, and this guy says 2 + 2 is 5, saying maybe it's more like the harmony in music. And in this context, in this author, here's what's going on. And in this passage, here's what's going on. That's why we're going to be inviting you to join us this Sunday, starting October 27th and running throughout the month of November, for a series we're calling On the Other Hand, listening to biblical voices in perspective. And each week, we're going to take a look at some topic, some of them that will be fresh in our minds or seem vital, some that might be a little more out there and unusual to us. But we're going to look at the question, what do I do when one book or writer seems to say this and one writer seems to say that? How do we find the tools in our study of the Bible to take it all seriously and to ask, how is it that we have a Bible? How is it that we have scriptures where, say, for example, Paul will say, we're justified by grace through faith apart from works of the law, and a writer like James can say, faith without works is dead. Which is it? Do I have to pick one or the other, or somehow are they in harmony, even if that harmony includes tension in the music? So we want to invite you to join us for this way of both digging deeper in the Bible and learning more about how to be faithful and good Bible readers, but also exploring some particular issues in the Bible. How do we deal with the fact that sometimes you'll get one verse that says one thing, another verse that says another? What kind of tools can we use, not just for a handful of Sundays, but for all of our lifelong, as people who take seriously what the Bible has to say, but also who can honestly wrestle with the times it seems to speak as a multiplicity of voices rather than a single black and white right or wrong note or right or wrong answer to a math problem? What if we saw our faith as less like doing math, more like making music that way? Well, that's the invitation. So join us starting on Sunday, this Sunday, October 27th, and then all throughout November for our series On the Other Hand, as we explore scripture together this way. Meet us at 9 o'clock in the fellowship hall here at Community of Christ. Bring a friend, bring a neighbor, bring a stranger, bring an enemy, so that together we can wrestle with the word together. See you then.